Hi guys, welcome. Okay, so this weekend we went to Keta. We went for my grandmother's 94th birthday, and you know what, it was so nice to actually get out of Accra. Sometimes you don't realize how busy Accra is or how developed Accra is, so it's nice to actually come out of the zone and go to another place, and we had a really good time. We only went for one night, but it was really good. So I just want to share a little bit about my experiences having gone after such a long period of time. It was really nice because surprisingly it was really easy to get there from Accra. It's literally everything in Ghana is more or less just straight. If you're looking for directions, just go straight. As you know, you kind of go on the N1 and you go straight and you'll basically get to where you need to get to. So we didn't really know how to get to the house, but we kind of just went straight and you know, kind of sort of follow people's directions. They said, oh, you know, you get to, you know, you take the road going to Aflawo, and then from there, you know, you see Dabala, I think it is, or something like that, and then from there you go to Anogla, and then you get to Kita, and it was just, anyway, we followed it, and it was pretty straightforward. I get really stressed sometimes trying to find places that I don't know, but actually in this instance it was actually really nice. It was a nice journey, a little bit of traffic on the way, but it was fine. It took us approximately probably more like 4 hours to get there because there was some roadworks going on along the way, and they had shut off the road, which was just in the middle of the day. It's like so backwards, I'm sorry to say, it was really backwards. You shut off the road in the middle of the day and you stop the cars from going through, even though that's the main road, and that's the only road like you can go through that I know of. You shut it off and you make the cars sit and wait for like half an hour. Can you imagine the backlog of cars? I mean, the cars were using double lanes, so the lanes that's supposed to be, the cars that are supposed to go on the opposite side of the road, the cars were all like, the place was full basically. You couldn't move, it was choked, and there were police trying to direct it and telling people to wait, hold on, and it was chaos. So it does kind of delayed us for about an hour, because it should take from Accra to Keta should be no more than 3 hours, but it took us about 4 hours to get there. But thankfully the children were really good in the car. They were peaceful, they slept some of the way, so it was good. So the journey wasn't too much of a nightmare. And I think when we got to a certain point I got really lost. Well, no, we didn't get lost. We were a little unsure of the turnings to take. So then I did quite well, you see, because I had to break down the airway. My airway is like, as my mum would say, it's like pitch patch. It's kind of all over the place. So like, I was trying to speak to this girl, you know, and I didn't want to let on to her that I couldn't actually speak airway, so I broke it down and I was like, oh, I said, oh, Madakuku Mabulo, meaning, please, I'm lost. I said, Makita Jim, and that was it. And then she spoke back to me and I was like, yeah. She didn't, I don't know if she knew that I didn't have a clue what I was saying, but she gave me the direction. She was like, yeah, keep going. She spoke back to me there and she was like, yeah, keep going. When you get to Agnogla, just ask them, just keep going straight. The place is far, but you just keep going straight. We get to Agnogla, then ask them, they'll tell you where to go to Kita, and it was fine. And then we got there and it was amazing. Very straightforward, like I've said. But when we got to Kita, I mean, I was really shocked because the roads were done. Like tarmac, more or less everywhere, apart from some of the side roads. Where it's quite sandy, but it was just like, it was like, I don't know, it's like going into a time warp or something like that. The place was just so different. So you've got like these small alleys that lead to people's houses where it's a little bit, you know, it's sandy, and you see the goats and you hear the meh, meh, all over the place, you know. It's really nice to see it. You see the goats eating the grass, you know. I don't think I saw any chickens, but mainly the little goats that you see around and stuff like that. And it's just like a totally different vibe when you get there to Accra. It's like, I kind of felt like I was too developed for the place, if that makes sense. Like, I need to like chill out, almost. I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but maybe you understand what I'm saying. I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm gonna get there. Anyway, so it was a completely different kind of place, and by the time we got there, it was like 4 in the evening, so then I started getting worried. Gosh, mosquitoes, what about these children, you know? I'm a bit panicky about mosquitoes, as you guys know. But you know what? We did not come across one single mosquito. I was completely shocked, considering that whole place, like there's quite a lot of lagoons around, and so I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be like breeding ground for mosquitoes. But surprisingly, we sat outside, no repellent, nothing, and we were all fine. Even my daughter, who gets bitten as like anything, didn't even have one complaint. And the people sat outside till like 1 in the morning, you know, preparing the food and stuff for the party, and no one complained of any mosquitoes. It was fine. I've never if it's here in Accra and you do that, trust me, by the time you wake up in the morning, you might as well take yourself to the hospital, because you will have malaria if you do that. Without doubt, you will have malaria. You can't do that in Accra, but over there in Keta, mosquitoes is not a problem. So if you don't like mosquitoes, go to Keta. You'll be fine over there. Okay, another thing that I love about Keta is the fact of it being so community living. I hope this video is not going dark for you. Anyway, yeah, it's the community living aspects. Where my grandma lives, there are lots of other, it's like one big massive compound, but there are lots of other family members that have their own sort of little houses around, and the compound is for everybody. So everybody sat outside and cooked. I should have videoed it really, but I was kind of living the moment rather than trying to film it. And to be honest, I didn't have my equipment with me anyway. But it was nice, and people were sitting around outside. You know, they had the canopies up ready for the party, and then they hooked up some lights to it, and then they were cooking the food on the little what do you call them? They're like the little stove things, you know. I don't know the name for them, but they were cooking the food on that. You know, everyone's chatting, you know, having a beer, laughing, joking. The children were running. I mean, my children ran. Like, I hardly saw them. They were just running around and around and around the compound. And then when they got tired, they just ran some more. I mean, they had an awesome time. I mean, Keta's like a babysitter for me because I didn't have to really do much for them. They just ran and played and laughed. But the funny thing is, a lot of the children that actually lived out there, they don't play the way that my children play, I guess. And so sometimes the adults will see my children doing like play fighting. And they would be like, oh, stop it. And then my son's like, no, we're play fighting. And they're like, like they haven't really seen children playing like that, because a lot of the children, you'll see them when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they got to do is you go, you sweep, you do your chores, and then you go to school. You don't have time for that kind of stuff. It's very rare to see, I'm sorry to say, but it's very rare to see a Ghanaian child outside and having their own time and just enjoying and playing. So I guess that was very strange for them. To see the children running around and having so much fun as they were having. But it was a really nice experience. I love the community aspect of it, and I would love to build that kind of thing for myself. If I can do something like that for my children, that would be awesome. So that when your children leave home, they don't really leave home. They have their like an outhouse, and you stay there. And when we want to come together, we chill in the same compound. We are in the same gate. But you have your own separate life, I have my own separate life. And it's lovely because it really reflects the whole idea of it takes a village to raise a child. That is basically the essence of what Keta is. It's very much like that. Everybody knows everybody. You can't do something bad out there and nobody knows about it. Everybody will know about it. And if you know Ghanaians, they like to talk. So if your child has done something, every auntie and uncle in that place knows what you have done before you can even admit what the thing you've done yourself. So I love it for that reason. It was awesome. I'm definitely going back. I did take a little bit of footage. I'll try and upload it to this video so you can see a little bit of Keta. But I was in a car driving, so some of the scenes might be a bit fast, but I'll see if I can slow them down. But anyway, that is enough for me. Until next time, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done. Until next time, peace out. Hi guys, I'm currently in Keta at the moment. I've come on just a short break to see my grandma. It's her birthday. So I'm just going for a little drive in the area for you guys to have a look around and see what it's like to be outside Accra, I guess. So I'm going to flip the camera around for you guys to have a look, yeah?